I'm super excited. So, yeah. So, Abby, hold on. So, sorry about my sister. If she comes in, I'll probably yell. But, so I'm so excited. Lots of good things happened today. So, my book is not in very good shape. We're going to be reading Animorphs. If you've heard of this book, please tell me in the comment section, in the Q&A. I don't know if I'm going to add a Q&A, but if there is, please tell me if you've heard of Animorphs. Alright, I'm going to read 2 chapters to you. 3, 2, 1. Animorphs The Invasion. Chapter 1. My name is Jake. It's my first name, obviously. I can't tell you my last name. It would be too dangerous. The controllers are everywhere. And if they knew my full name, they could find me and my friends. And then, well, let's just say I don't want them to find me. What they do to people who resist them too is horrible to think about. I won't even tell you where I live. You'll just have to trust me that it is a real place, a real town. It may be even your town. I'm writing this all down so that more people will learn the truth. Maybe somehow the human race can survive until the Andalites return and rescue us, as they promised they would. Maybe. My life used to be pretty normal, that is, until one Friday night at the mall. I was there with Marco, my best friend. We were playing video games and hanging out at this cool store that sells comic books and stuff. The usual. Marco and I had run out of quarters for the game, right when he was ahead by a lot of points. Mostly, we're equally good at games. I have a system at home, so I get lots of practice time in. Wait, tell me if you can still hear me. I think you can. Okay, sorry. Lots of time, equally good at game, but Marco has this amazing ability to analyze games and figure out the little tricks. So sometimes he beats me, or maybe I just wasn't concentrating very well. I had kind of a bad day at school. I tried out for the basketball team and I didn't really make the cut. It was no big deal, really. Except that Tom, he's my big brother, he was the total legend on the junior high basketball team. Now he's the main scorer for the high school team. So everyone expected me to make the team. Easy. Only I didn't. Like I said, no big thing, but it was on my mind. Just the same lately. Tom and I haven't been hanging out as much. Not like we used to. So I figured, if I got his old position on the team, anyway, we were out of money and getting ready to head home when we ran into Tobias. Tobias was, I guess he's kind of the strange guy. He was a new kid at school, and he wasn't the toughest kid around. So he got picked on a lot. I actually met Tobias when he had his head in a toilet. There were these 2 big guys holding him down and laughing. They flushed, sending Tobias' straggly blonde hair swirling around the bowl. I told those creeps to back off. And ever since then, Tobias figured I was his friend. What's up, Tobias asked. I shrugged. Not much. We're heading home. Out of quarters, Marco commented. Certain people keep forgetting that the sleaze troll shows up right after you cross the nether forged. So certain people keep losing the game and losing our quarters. Marco keeps jerking his thumb up at me, just in case Tobias couldn't figure out who he meant by certain people. So, maybe a walk home with you guys, Tobias said. I said, sure, why not? We were heading home for the exit when I spotted Rachel and Cassie. Rachel's kind of pretty, I guess. Okay, she's very pretty. Although, since she is my cousin, I don't really think about her that way. She has blonde hair and blue eyes that kind of are very clean. Very wholesome look. She's one of those people who always know the right clothes to wear and how to look like they just walked out of one of those fashion magazines. Girls like. She's also very graceful because she takes gymnastics. Even though she says she's too tall to be really good at it, Cassie's sort of the opposite. For one thing, she is usually wearing jeans and a plaid shirt or something else real casual. She's black and wears her hair very short most of the time. She had it long for a while, but then she went back to short, which I like. Cassie is quieter than Rachel, more peaceful, like she always understands everything on some different, more mystical level. I guess you could say I kind of like Cassie, and I mean like. Sometimes we sit together on the bus, even though I know what to say to her, even though I never know what to say to her. You guys going home? I asked Rachel. You shouldn't go through the construction site by yourselves. I mean, being girls and all. That was a mistake. I should have never suggested to Rachel for help. Rachel may look little Miss Teen model or whatever, but she thinks she's Storm from the X-Men. Are you going to come and protect us, you big strong man? She said, you think we're helpless just because? I'd appreciate it if they did walk with us. Cassie interrupted. I know you're not afraid of anything, Rachel, but I am. Rachel couldn't say much. Yeah, but the way Cassie is, she always has the right words to stop any argument without making anyone feel bad. Tobias, feel bad. So there we were, the five of us. Marco, Tobias, Rachel, Cassie, me. 5 normal mall rats heading home. Sometimes I think about that one, the last moment when we were still just normal kids. It's like I was a million years ago. Like it was something totally different for kids. You know what I was afraid of right then? I was afraid of admitting to Tom that I hadn't made the team. That was as scary as life got back then. 5 minutes later, life got a lot scarier. To get home from the mall, we could either go a long way around, which is the safe way, or we could cut through the abandoned construction site and hope there weren't any axe murderers hanging around there. My mom and dad have sworn to ground me until I'm 20 if they ever find out I cut through the construction site. So anyway, we crossed the road and headed to the abandoned construction site. It was a big area, surrounded on 2 sides by trees, with the highway spreading from the mall. There's a broad open field between the construction site and the nearest houses. It's a very insulted place. Originally, it was supposed to be this new shopping center. Now it was just all these half-finished buildings looking like a ghost town. There were huge piles of rusted steel beams, pyramids of giant concrete pipes, a little mountain of dirt, deep pits that had filled up filled up little mountains of dirt. Deep pits that had filled up with black mountains of dirt. Deep pits that had filled up with black, muddy water. And a creaking, rusted construction crane that I had climbed once, while Marco stayed below and told me I was being an idiot. It was a totally deserted place, full of shadows and sounds that made the hair on the back of your neck stand up. When Marco and I went there during the day, we always found all these beer cans and Blair bottles. Sometimes we found the ashes of little campfires, black in the hidden nooks and crannies of the building. So we knew that people came here at night. All that was on my mind as we crept through the site. It was Tobias who saw it first. He had been walking along, gazing up at the sky. I guess he was looking at the stars or something. That's the way Tobias is sometimes, off in his own world. Suddenly, Tobias stopped. He was pointing almost straight up. "Look," he said. But I didn't want to be distracted because I was pretty sure I heard the sound of a chainsaw killer creeping up behind us. "Just look," Tobias said. His voice was strange, amazed sounding, but serious at the same time. White light that scooted across the sky, going fast at first, too fast for it to be an airplane, then slower and slower. "What is it?" Tobias shook his head. "I don't know." I looked at Tobias, and then he looked back at me. We both knew what it was. We thought it was. We didn't want to say it. Marco and Rachel would have laughed. We figured, but Cassie just blurted right out, "It's a flying saucer!" And that is where we're going to end it, at chapter 2. I'm probably going to read 1 or 2 chapters, but my tongue is getting really dry, and that was a really long time. Wait, how long? Okay, well, anyway, if you like this podcast, please tell me. I'm really excited. Anyway, thanks. Bye.